tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello and welcome to an all-new The Ultimate Fighter, a Champion Will Be Crowned on AFTERBUZZ TV. My name is Daria Berenato, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Mr. George Hermoza. Happy Thanksgiving.
Ditto.
Eve.
Eve. No, my name is George, not Eve.
Oh, silly me. Adam, Eve, George. I get so confused.
Daria.
These late night shows.
Not your typical
8 p.m.
biblical name.
8:15.
Daria. Berenato.
Berenato.
Don't forget Alexis.
Oh, and lovely Alexis Torres in the booth tonight.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. And then
can hear me.
Mr. J Tan is out of town for the holiday, but he sends his regards, and I'm sure he's watching us right now.
So just me and you on the panel,
Just
the way
me
it
and you.
should be. Jay.
You just got kicked out. Okay, so we're gonna start off with last week on The Ultimate Fighter. It was Randa Marcos versus Felice Herrig. Randa Marcos defeated.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Thank you. Don't talk to me. Thank you. Oh wait, no. Are we past that?
I won't participate in that.
Okay.
That was weird.
What, you didn't watch last week?
Did you watch
No,
last
I
week?
did. That's why I just thought it was
Oh.
funny because I wasn't expecting it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Excuse me.
a little weird. Randa Marcos defeated Felice Herrig via armbar, and that moved her on to the quarterfinals. Or no, that moved her on to the semifinals. Randa Marcos is the first girl to be in the semifinals. And we had another quarterfinal match this week. Jessica Penne versus Ashley Daly. Number 4 ranked Jessica Penne versus number 5 ranked Ashley Daly. I think that's maybe the closest fight we've had as far as rankings go thus far.
Until next week.
Until next week, where we have...
Number 1, Carla Cookie Monster Esparza versus number 3, Tisha, the Terrorizer, Titanic. I don't know. I'm just making it up.
I was going to say,
Torres.
is that her actual name?
I don't know. But if she were to have a nickname, she's got to keep with the alliteration. Tisha Torres, the Terrorizer. I'm giving that to you, Tisha Torres. That sounds cool, huh?
I think she's
Tisha, the Terrorizer Torres.
Tisha, the tiny tornado.
Tiny tornado.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's actually better than the Terrorizer.
Yeah, it is better than the Terrorizer.
You
She's
tried.
one step ahead of the game, George. Okay, so this week we had Jessica Penne versus Ashley Daly. What did you think of that?
I thought it was interesting.
Did it go how you expected before we give the results away?
I mean, once maybe we can go back to our AfterBuzz predictions of last week. Here, roll the clip.
No.
Oh, we don't have a clip?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I'll just
No.
reenact it. Blah 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 blah. Jessica Penne, second round TKO.
That's what you said.
That's what I said.
Yeah. What did I say? Jessica Penne.
Yeah. No. You said Ash the Bash.
Did I say Ash?
Yeah, because you were like blah 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 blah. Conor McGregor this. Ash the Bash this.
No.
I have a
McGregor
soft
this.
spot for Ash the Bash.
No, but then I said,
Oh,
but.
Conor McGregor, but Jessica Penne this and that. But I'm gonna go with Ash the Bash.
I said
That's what
that?
you said. Yeah.
Oh. I did say that, didn't I? I'm a sore loser. But anyway, Jessica Penne won. It had to go all 3 rounds, and she ended up winning via decision at the conclusion of the 3rd round. If I would have to give a round to Ash because it went the 3rd, so she had to have won either the 1st or the 2nd for it to go there. I guess round 1, because round 2 was definitively Jessica Penne.
Did you give that to her just because of the fact that it was, that it went to the 3rd round?
He's turning up my mic volume. You're such a jerk.
No, he's also because I remember watching the fight for the first time. Is it too loud? Is it good now?
No, it's good now.
Okay, watching the fight, I initially would have given Jessica Penne the 1st round.
Right.
That's me. I know Alexis, I think, gave Ashley.
I wanted Ashley to win.
Yeah, but I think you gave her the 1st round, right?
When we were watching.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah. So
I gave her the first
and
round.
I think we all agree that Jessica had the 2nd round.
Yeah.
So did you give Ashley the 1st round because that's obviously what the judges gave her?
I gave Ashley the 1st round because out of default.
Okay.
Since it moved on to a 3rd, I was trying to see where the judges saw that she won. So I gave her the first
because I think, obviously it was like, oh, obviously they gave Ash the bash the first round, so
it's
we
one of
gave
those
her by
fights,
default, but...
It was, I'll admit though, it was one of those fights where I wouldn't have wanted to be the judge. Not that I ever want to be in that position, but it was really hard to gauge because no one person was definitively really beating the other. I mean,
except for the third round. Yeah.
Except the third round was definitely a bigger gap between the two. But the first and the second round, Jessica Penne was landing some good strikes on Ash the Bash, but she was counter striking. Ash seemed to be the one that was stalking down Jessica. But then every time Ash would go for a takedown, Jessica seemed to reverse it to a nice judo toss. But then she would land in like a half guard position where she didn't really work much from. She would land some strikes from the top, but not anything ridiculous. And then they would get back up, clinch against the cage some more. It was a brawl. I mean, they were going at it the entire 3 rounds. So I give that to them.
Thinking back, I think the judges might have given Ashley the first round just because she kind of had that weird, awkward, unorthodox stance, feet movement. And whenever you fight somebody in that state of where you don't really know what they're going to do, you kind of just can't help but watch because you don't know what they're going to do. They're so, I don't want to say weird. There's nothing weird about how people fight, but it's unorthodox. So it's kind of like you have no choice but to kind of wait for the counter and hopefully counter punch or counter their takedown. So I think in some ways maybe Jessica Penne was kind of left watching. So maybe that's why maybe the judges gave Ashley the first round because she was being more active. I think I mentioned early on that she was kind of being more aggressive, just maybe with that stance or maybe that, the feet, the movement and everything.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Some of the most high-level fighters in MMA, both men and women, you see stalk their prey for the first round or just observe their prey, I should say. Lyoto Machida does it.
Anderson Silva
does it. I mean, they really like to pick up on the movement, the footwork, just the overall body movement of their opponent before they go in. Sometimes I think it's really smart. You don't want to go in there and get, knocked out from some crazy wild punch. You want to feel your opponent out first. And I think with an unorthodox stance like Gilbert Melendez and Anthony Pettis were saying that Ash has, that's a smart move on Jessica Penne's part. Now, when you only have 2 rounds and you're on the Ultimate Fighter, it's a scary way to start because you could lose just for, wasting that time. Whereas Anderson Silva in a 5-round title match, has that time. But I think she played it well. I think she played it right. I think she felt Ash out. And I still think, even though she won, I still think she struggled with the way that Ash moves. She's very... I said she looked like a bobblehead at one point because she just the way she moves, you don't know where she's going to throw next because she's constantly in motion. And I think that's smart as a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I did think it threw off Jessica Penne. More, I think it threw her off more than she was more so studying her.
Right.
I think it was more of the confusion and just kind of waiting around as opposed to that. So, I mean, yes, I do agree that a lot of it is just kind of stalking their prey, kind of figuring them out. But I think it was less than that and more of the, I don't really understand this kind of, movement. I mean, it's different watching it on video and studying, previous fights, but it's actually a lot different than actually being in the cage and actually having it right in front of you and knowing that something can happen in any second. So.
Yeah. It's like that feeling of, going to a new gym and sparring with new training partners or sparring partners. And you're like, oh, I'm not used to this. Like, you have someone that throws you off and someone that's really unorthodox. Every gym has those people. And it's hard and it's hard to deal with. But I think that, not to take away from Ash, she has great technique as well. She's not just unorthodox and weird, and she has great technique.
Yeah, I mean, some of the unorthodox fighters turn out to be some of the best fighters.
Absolutely. Look at John Jones. Yeah. I mean, you watch him fight and you're like, am I watching an MMA fight sometimes? I mean, he does that weird kick to the knee that buckles the knee, and you're like, okay, it's
I mean, legal. He starts off on the floor kind of crawling pretty much in every fight. Rashad Evans did that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing with Anderson Silva. Just he's somebody who switches stances multiple times during a fight, and it's kind of like, whoa, what are you doing now? Oh my God, I don't know. Like, it is sometimes a strategy thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that's just the way she fights, but maybe a lot of it probably is too just strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works for her. By the way, I want to say Conor McGregor visiting her was as sweet and as amazing as I thought it was going to be last week watching the preview.
It was so refreshing to watch too.
Right? It was some positive energy in that house. When you watch the show, you don't realize how much hostility's in it until someone like Conor McGregor comes in, who, you know, doesn't have a UFC championship belt on the line, and you watched him feel the tension in the room when he saw Jessica Penne and he was hugging Ash, and you saw Jessica's face kind of giving him like the evil eye, and
so awkward.
And he even said it, right?
Yeah.
He even said, "Ooh, it's a lot of tension in this house."
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, it is the quarterfinals now, but at the same time, it was kind of like they were kind of like mean mugging Conor in some ways. It was like, who the hell is this girl bringing in her superstar friend? You know, where's my friends that are coming in? So
I think they were a little jealous, and you know, rightfully so. I think it's a little intimidating, right? You're getting ready to fight this girl, and all of a sudden, UFC star Conor McGregor comes in.
Exactly, because if you think about it, let's say you're a UFC Ultimate Fighter competitor, and you see a top 5 contender of a UFC fighter, you'd be thrilled.
Absolutely.
Like nobody even moved. I mean, nobody was like, "Oh, hey,
I
it's."
thought that was so weird.
That was kind of weird. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that like
At
nobody was excited.
The only explanation I could have for this is I'm girls like Carla Esparza, Jessica Penne, Felice Herrig. I mean, they all train at, you know, top 10 camps across the country. I know for a fact that they've trained with and they're friends with, you know, I mean, Felice Herrig's main trainer is Pat Curran. Carla Esparza is she definitely trains with a lot of high level guys.
I think you said Jessica Penne trains with Black House as well at times.
Jessica Penne definitely trained through Black House in the past with Justine Quiche. Black House itself has names like Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva training there on, you know, on a daily basis. Yeah. So I'm sure none of them are strangers to stars as far as MMA stars go. I think if, you know, George Clooney walked in there, all the girls would have been a lot more starstruck.
Wheeling and fangirling out.
Yeah, they totally
No, but it's still weird. It's just, maybe because they're all actually considered professional competitors right now and professional fighters with UFC contracts. Just going back to previous seasons, when that does happen, everybody's so like, even I think 2 seasons ago, Ronda Rousey showed up at the house and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's Ronda Rousey!"
Right?
They got all like excited, like fanboy.
That's such a good point, because you have to realize the people on this season, the women on this season, are already established professional female fighters. I mean, Jessica Penne had the atomweight Invicta belt. She was champ already. You know, not of the UFC, but of a different division. And who else? You know, Carla Esparza, Invicta champ. So these girls are already established, well-known professional athletes. So I think they've been in and around this circle of, you know, MMA fighters for quite some time. Whereas, like you said, the past seasons, these are new MMA fighters, you know, in their first couple years of training, some of them just now meeting and understanding the high levels of sport that's in the UFC.
I mean, a lot of these girls probably have already fought in arenas.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to maybe some of the guys before, they only fought in gyms.
Local shows or whatever it may be. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's why they weren't all fangirl about it, but it was still kind of weird to see.
I would have expected a casual reaction, like, "Hey, Conor, you know, nice to meet you," or if they had already met, like, "Hey, nice to see you again," because I'm sure some of them have already met Conor. I think JoJo had met him before because she went up and hugged him. It looked like a casual reuniting. But did you happen to catch, guys? If you didn't catch this, go check it out on the Fight Pass prelims of last week's show. Paige VanZant versus Kaylin Curran. It was an amazing 3-round brawl. Are you looking for?
Oh no, she put up a sign, but keep talking. 3-round brawl.
Yeah, Paige VanZant versus Kaylin Curran. It was on last week's Fight Pass prelims. If you guys didn't see it, please try and go see it. Whether it's on your Fight Pass or I don't know where else you can catch it. Maybe a replay on Fox Sports 1.
No, I think you're only going to be able to watch on a Fight Pass right now. It was one of the Fight Pass prelims.
Right.
It won Fight of the Night.
It won Fight of the Night, and those girls duked it out. Paige VanZant wasn't on the Ultimate Fighter season 20 house because she's only 20 years old, and to be in the house you have to be 21 because of alcohol. So it's kind of a bummer. Watching her fight was kind of a bummer for the sole fact that I wish she was in this house right now.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. That was probably the only time that I watched of prelims on the Fight Pass just so I can see Paige VanZant.
Okay.
Because I heard she was that good.
Okay, because you heard she was good.
I heard she was that good, and she's pretty. But I mean, you had heard about her. Yeah, ding. But you'd heard about her like I think like a year ago. Heard about this chick. I mean, the whole thing is, and as much as people might deny it, when you are pretty, sometimes the spotlight is on a little bit more. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that she was 19 kind of went along with it a year ago. So yeah, so then this and that. Oh, Ultimate Fighter House, and I think at first they said she was, but then she wasn't. But then because she's only 20, but so yeah, I had been hyped for her. I think she actually fought Tisha Torres maybe like a year and a half ago. I think.
Did she fight Tisha in Invicta? Maybe. Possibly.
And she lost, but she showed a lot of promise, this and that. So I was kind of like, wow, now I really want to see this girl fight. Did not disappoint. I mean, this girl was impressive.
I've watched some of her past matches, and they're entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but this match I was on the edge of my seat the entire time I was watching it.
And if you really want to be wild, we talked about last week how Kelvin Gastelum is 23. This girl's only 20.
Yeah.
She's
very
20.
good point. And
she's younger than you.
She is.
Think about that.
Younger than me by a couple months. It's just crazy that, I mean, she has a gymnastics background, so she's an athlete, of course, as a child. But if you just watch this girl's work from the clinch, it is beautiful. And it's weird because Paige VanZant is kind of long and skinny, and usually people with that kind of build tend to like the distance fighting. You know, like the long kicks and the long punches.
She was not afraid to get in there.
She was all about the dirty boxing. It was just the opposite of what I would have expected. And ironically, Kaylin Curran was the girl with the wrestling background. But watching it, you would think that Paige VanZant had a wrestling background as well. I mean, they really, really put on a performance. I think it went to decision, right? Or
no, she won by chokeout. By submission, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was a rear naked in the third round.
But I was saying I kind of can't wait. Not that I want the season to end already, but I kind of can't wait for the finale to come, because I'm sure 2 days later the rankings are going to go, champion in the 1 through 15, and there's a couple people in that house that aren't going to be on that rankings because of I forgot her name, so I apologize. There's a Brazilian out there who's like undefeated. And on all the other MMA sites, she's ranked like number 2.
She's already up there. Yeah, right.
But then there's going to be Paige VanZant. So don't be surprised if she's maybe top 10 already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this was the second or third strawweight fight in the UFC already. There's girls that are already fighting, although they're not in the house for whatever reasons. I know there was another girl that couldn't be in the house because of a language barrier.
Yeah, I think that's the girl I'm talking about. I think she's Brazilian.
Yeah, she is.
Pretty much pure Portuguese. So I'm sure that wouldn't have been good with the show.
Definitely. Maybe she'll be on a Brazil well, I guess she doesn't need to be on the Ultimate Fighter now.
She's already
in the UFC. Yeah. But yeah, so there definitely are strawweights that aren't in the UFC yet as well. There's still a lot of, top 10 strawweights that are in Invicta still competing.
Yeah, actually the number 1 ranked strawweight in the world is actually in World Series of Fighting.
World Series of Fighting?
Yeah, Jessica Aguilar.
Oh, Jessica Aguilar. Yeah. Oh my God. She's an American top team girl.
But I'm sure at some point if they ever do sign her, she's going to be pretty much right in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if she ever does sign with the UFC at any point in the next couple years. Don't be surprised if she gets an immediate title shot.
Yeah, I don't know where Jessica Aguilar is in terms of her career. I don't know how much more she has left or anything like that. Because I remember Jessica Aguilar from 3-4 years ago being the best. She trains with Tisha Torres. They're very good friends down at American Top Teams in Coconut Creek, Florida, and they're both ferocious women. I've seen them spar in real life, and it's interesting to watch. They're definitely very technical Muay Thai, kickboxing, badass ladies.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the badass ladies. To drama in the house, there wasn't
that much.
What do you think about that?
They're playing with us.
What do you think about it? I mean, just compared to last week. I mean, we kind of came off that whole roller coaster from last week. Even following up, I saw a little bit of that tough talk right afterwards, and they were kind of going back and forth. Carla Esparza and Randa Marcos.
Yeah, they
definitely not going to be having Thanksgiving together.
They're definitely not having Thanksgiving together tomorrow. But no, I mean, the drama died down because they were focused on the girls that were fighting this week, which was Ash and Jessica Penne. And as you guys saw on the episode, or you will see, Jessica Penne, kind of opened up and said that she's a bit of a loner, and she doesn't like drama, and she doesn't like being around, too many people. So I think that's probably part of it. And then Ash is a sweetheart, very soft-spoken, similar to JoJo, your sweetheart. So I don't think there was going to be drama between the two of them. I don't think that the production crew or the editors could have made it. You know what I mean? Maybe next week, though, because we have Rose Namajunas versus JoJo, which is going to be a retarded, amazing fight. And then Tisha Torres versus Carla Esparza.
That's the fight. I think that's the dream fight that everybody's been waiting for.
I guarantee you that next week's show will have the most views of any of the Ultimate Fighter episodes thus far.
I agree.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think people are definitely gonna tune in for this one. Everyone knows Tisha Torres is, you know, the fancy Muay Thai chick, and then everyone knows Carla Esparza for her amazing wrestling. It's your typical stand-up, you know, striker versus grappler, and they're both pretty women, and I think that's gonna help. And I think a lot of people are definitely gonna tune in for that.
I agree. I can't wait. I was hoping, not hoping, but actually kind of hoping. I was hoping that the JoJo and Rose Namajunas, that I was going to be a lot sooner, but now it's cool because now we're going to have the two fights that were wanting the most to happen in 1 week on one episode.
Yeah,
so.
the two most anticipated fights are happening on the same episode.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's another reason why it's going to be the best ratings. You have two, not one, but two amazing fights. So Jessica Penne is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and that was like a big factor going into this fight, that her grappling was far superior to Ash the Bashes. What do you think?
And you couldn't really see it that much during the fight.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of more of a stand-up warfare, and you did kind of see them on the ground a little bit. There was a couple takedowns from each person that I thought were pretty impressive. But yeah, you didn't really see maybe she just needs more work. Maybe the brown belt's not good enough.
Maybe the black. She got to go for the black.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what it was is that Jessica Penne was getting beautiful, beautiful takedowns, but she was landing in this awkward half guard. And I think that, I mean, look at Ronda Rousey. Every time she throws someone, judo tosses or hip tosses someone, she lands exactly where she planned to land. And that's just, it comes from repetition and precision. Whereas Jessica Penne threw a beautiful throw, got her on the ground, but I think her landing is a little off. I think she, may need to work on the precision of the landing. Do
you think the weight has anything to do with it? Because you're mentioning that her more, not natural weight, but her typical weight was 105.
Yeah, I mean, she was champ at 105. She was Invicta champion at 105, okay? She fought Michelle Wooderson, who is, the karate hottie, amazing, amazing fighter. It was an amazing fight until it went to like the last round, and Michelle finished her with like a couple minutes left or something like that. It was close, and she was amazing there. Now you bring her into the 115 strawweight division, and she kind of fits somewhere in the middle. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I haven't seen the most that we're going to see out of Jessica Penne. There's still more to come, I think, but I just see her being more comfortable at atom weight at 105. And I think that when the UFC establishes the atom weight division, girls like Jessica Penne, maybe a few other of the smaller girls from the house, are going to drop down. I know Tisha Torres says her natural weight's she walks around at 123. So that to me tells me that she could probably make atom weight as well, if she wanted to. I don't know that she needs to. I don't know that either of them need to. But it's always an option when the UFC does come out with that weight class.
It's just crazy now that I think about it. There's like that 10-pound difference that makes such a huge.
Oh my God, yeah.
Such a huge factor. But then if you think about it, between middleweight and light heavyweight, that's 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I don't know why I think that's crazy.
Once you're that big, that 10, 20 pounds isn't that big of a difference. Whereas like, I mean, when you're 105 pounds and 135 pounds, especially females, look at Ronda Rousey and put her next to Michelle Wooderson. I mean, that's the difference between 105 and 135. That's a big difference. Because you figure the girls that fight at 135 are walking around at least 145, 150. And then the girls at 105 are walking around 115, 120. That's a big difference, 150 and 120, especially for females.
Well, I mean, George St. Pierre, who fights at 170, says he walks around like around 200.
That's a big weight cut.
Yeah.
Everyone does it differently. We had Kenny Johnson on our UFC show talking about, the ups and downs to cutting more weight and cutting less weight. And really, everybody I meet in the world of mixed martial arts has a different opinion. Some people I meet are like, oh, cut the 15 to 20 pounds. You're going to be so much faster, so much stronger. You'll be so much better. And then other people I meet are like, dude, walk around 10 pounds above your weight. Come time the day before the fight, cut 8 pounds. Your cardio is going to be amazing. Your conditioning is going to be, you're going to be so much better off.
Yeah. I mean, like for right now, I think I'm at 205. I mean, obviously if I was a fighter, 185 makes the most sense. Like, I don't see myself getting anything lower than that. I mean, 170 kind of seems a little too far off.
If you decided to make a weight...
Because you gotta also think all the muscle mass that I have to gain as well, you know?
Right, but you're going to replace a lot of the muscle with, the stuff that's already there. So I don't think it'll be, like, that much added weight as much as it is just replacement. Or, like, body mass replacement. So I think that if, you wanted to lose weight and then stay at a lighter weight, like if you walked around at 190 or 185 instead, then you could fight at 170.
Because I mean, even like seeing some of these guys like Nate Marquardt who fights at 185. I don't think anymore, but Anderson Silva, those guys are huge. So I'm like, damn,
big boys.
maybe I got to go down to 170. But damn, those guys are so quick.
Are you thinking about fighting, George? Is that what this conversation's about?
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. Hey, time is on your side.
No, time is not on my side.
Time's not on your side.
Well, I don't know. I mean, time only goes. I don't know. How's that work?
Time goes forward. And never backward.
Interesting.
Yes. Should we talk about the logistics of time travel?
We can. Here, roll the clip. No, we don't have. We don't have a clip.
We don't have a clip for
Oh,
that.
we don't have a clip.
We don't have a clip. So next week, who do you say? Rose, JoJo,
Wait
Tisha,
for it.
Carla.
Wait for it. There we go.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV
Predictions. That doesn't sound like a drum roll. No. First fight. Here, the first fight, Tisha Torres versus Carla Esparza. The winner of that fight gets to fight.
Brandon Marcos.
No.
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 Who?
Who fought today? Oh, Jessica Penne.
Jessica Penne.
I was like, who fought today? Jesus Christ.
I don't have my whatchamacallit in front of me. Do you have it?
Roll the clip. Put it on the. Okay.
Stop it.
We don't have a clip.
You're putting pressure on the box.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Get out of my box.
Yeesh.
Okay.
Wow, this is going to be a tough one. I mean, this can go either back and forth.
So to clarify, the winner of Tisha Torres and Carla Esparza faces
Jessica Penne in the semifinals. Ooh, that's. I mean, it's
getting
getting down.
I'm so excited.
Like I said, it's one thing. I predicted Jessica Penne last week. I think the week before I predicted Felice Herrig, so I was wrong on that. But this is extremely difficult to predict. Here, you go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Tisha and Carla. I want Tisha to win. I
want her to win now. Maybe not before.
I'm sorry, was it my turn?
Dun dun dun. Wah, wah,
He did that to me last week, so I had to do it to him
No,
this
I know.
week.
That's why I'm so happy that you did.
Come back, George. Come back. Come back.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I want Tisha to win, but I think that Carla's going to win. And my reasoning behind that would be that although Tisha's stand-up is amazing, I don't think she can defend Carla's takedowns. And when it comes to a striker versus a wrestler, if the wrestler can take you down, that's where the fight's going to go, and that's where it's going to stay. So I'm going to say Carla Esparza. And then Rose and JoJo.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet?
No.
Okay, one-on-one. Go ahead.
Okay. So with Rose and... No, I'm just kidding. So Carla Esparza, I used to want Carla Esparza to win. Then, of course, the don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Thank you. And then that happened. So I want Tisha to win. But I gotta agree with you. As much as I want to go against you, because then that just makes for boring TV, Yeah. If we all agree with the same thing.
Yeah. How stupid's that? Yeah.
But
Well, I know we're going to disagree on the next one, so don't worry about that.
Really? You really think I'm going to pick JoJo just because I love her? Okay, anyways, we're not there yet. What about you, Alexis? You pick. I'm still torn on Carla or Tisha. I want to stall.
I'm gonna have to jump on the boat with Daria there. That I think Carla's gonna win.
We'll all agree
It's
gonna
mostly.
be boring.
I'm sorry. I just think that I agree with the whole like the wrestler thing. I think as soon as she takes her to the ground, I think she's just gonna dominate. That's that's my own opinion though.
With that said, next week prediction: Tisha Torres. Winner by decision.
That would hurt, but at the same time, I'd be okay.
Winner
with it.
by decision.
I think it's definitely, I'll agree with you. I think it's definitely going to go to a decision.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I
going to
agree.
be a finish.
I would be very surprised.
I think Carla's going to grind her out.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say Tisha, just for the sake of at least somebody's right next week. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
At least one of us will be
Yeah, at least
right.
one of us is going to be right. I mean, we can't go in the next week all of us being wrong.
That would suck.
So
That
at
would
least
suck.
somebody's
That
going to
would
be right.
really
So
suck.
Tisha Torres, for the sake of somebody being right. But
Give us
yeah.
better reasoning.
That's it.
on.
That's the only reason why.
That's
I
all?
told you. I do think in my gut says Carla Esparza is going to grind her out with her wrestling. But like I said, for the sake of just somebody being right, I'm going to go with Tisha Torres.
Oh, you stubborn mule.
Yeah.
Okay. Rose and JoJo.
You have to go first, George. You have to.
I can't go first.
Why?
I literally cannot go first.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rose Namajunas.
Why?
Because her striking.
But JoJo's a good striker too.
Listen, JoJo is a very good striker, and I might be biased on picking Rose because I saw her fight more recently. Maybe if I went back and watched JoJo's, I'd be more impressed again. But Rose,
she's undefeated.
She is undefeated, but Rose Namajunas, the way she moves around the cage, and I want to attribute it to her gymnastics background. I swear, her balance. It's like she moves like a little ninja. Even if she's in the clinch, she keeps her balance beautifully. Oh no, Rose doesn't have the gymnastics background. That's Paige VanZant. I'm corrected. But no, but Rose Namajunas just has such athleticism. She's always in the right place at the right time. Her kicks last week or a couple weeks ago looked beautiful. Everything looked beautiful.
I'm kind of curious. I know that she was on Team Melendez or is on Team Melendez.
Right.
But I'm kind of curious if she trains currently with Anthony Pettis.
No, she did train with Anthony Pettis.
But not currently right now.
No.
Okay.
They started together at
the Rufus?
Rufus, yeah. Duke Rufus and all that. And they trained there for a while.
But currently not.
No.
I mean, they're from the same area or?
Yeah, they're both from.
But they just don't.
But they don't. No, because Rose, I think,
She
trains
trains
with Pat Barry now.
and his crew,
does all that.
Like in New Mexico or Colorado or something.
Colorado, yeah.
What about you, Alexis?
I'm actually gonna be in the middle because I don't know who's really gonna win. Like I
Well, you
actually
have
don't.
to
I know I
say.
have to pick one. I'm going to.
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
saying like my initial decision is literally.
Split.
It's
a
split. Yeah, because after watching Rose fight, what was it, like 2 fights ago? What was that? My opinion has changed. So I think that Rose as a striker is really, really strong, but I want to also vote for JoJo just because she's the underdog. And
Really? You think
and
she'd be? I don't think she's the underdog.
I don't think she's the
Really?
underdog.
I
I think so.
respectfully disagree.
I mean, that's fine.
I
I'm just
respectfully
saying.
disagree.
I'm just saying that that's how I feel about
Yeah,
it because I
yeah.
feel like she's so under the radar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like in my brain she's the underdog.
She's
So
definitely-
was Ashley. So was Ash the Bash. So I don't know.
She's definitely under the radar, but she's ranked.
No, she's ranked like
You know.
well enough. I'm just saying that personally, I feel like because she's so under the radar that not a lot of people are thinking that she's gonna take.
I'm kind of
the
curious how much the records came into effect as far as ranking goes.
I think a lot.
Because I think Carla by default had to be number 1.
Because she's the Invicta champ.
Yeah, she was Invicta.
Absolutely.
Number 2 was JoJo, right?
Yeah.
Undefeated. Number 3, Tisha Torres, undefeated. Number 4, who was number 4?
Jessica Penne.
Was she?
Yeah.
So she's not undefeated. Okay, I was just kind of curious.
Well, I think you proved a good point so far. I mean, yeah, the top 3 are undefeated, and that makes sense. Or yeah, top 2, and then Tisha Torres. So that makes sense. But I think overall, it's just like they look at a lot of factors, experience being one of them, level of competition, like girls that have been competing in Invicta for a while versus girls that have just been competing in like local pro shows. It's a lot different. You know, it's a much bigger platform competing in Invicta. Until now, it was like the UFC of women's MMA. So I think that goes into effect. Like Angela Hill, for example, she is 1-0 in MMA. She only has 1 MMA fight. And in turn, she was ranked, I think, 14 or 15. She was ranked at the bottom. So I think experience level and record definitely has a lot to do with it. Because what else can they go off of?
Because at the same time, though, we learned very early on that the rankings, I mean, they're just numbers. Hence, the first week, number 3 losing to number 14.
Right.
So does that mean that Tisha wasn't that good? Or does that mean that Randa was just a lot better than, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's...
and it's always just numbers. It's always subjective. There's not an official, like... Obviously, with the records, it's not like sports where you just beat your division, et cetera. It's you got voters, people that are voting who is the top 10 or
but
top
it's
15.
Not,
you know,
not only that, it's not basketball where the best team always wins. It's MMA where sometimes the best person doesn't always win.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, a girl could. I mean, me and Jay would argue about this because Jay always says if someone gets injured during the fight, then it's their opponent's, doing that they injured them and they get points for that.
Who says that?
Jay.
Okay, because I disagree.
Because, like, for example...
I disagree, too.
What, Anderson Silva?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and Jay said that, oh, well, his opponent did that to him, so he wins. Whereas I tend to think a little more on the equality side where he got injured during the fight. He couldn't fight his best, and in turn, I don't think it was a real win. It could go either way. I could see both points of view, but my personal opinion is that if there's a factor as big as like a torn ACL in a fight or something like that Joe Clark had to go through, that's a real injury. That's a real, weakness in a fight. So I think in cases like that, there could be rematches and stuff. So
So you got Rose. Who did you say?
I'm gonna say JoJo.
Oh, so that means I gotta go with my gut, because no matter what, somebody's gonna think. JoJo, I love you. But Rose is freaking good, dude.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm split. It's hard.
I'm sorry, I have to go with Rose.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's just too good.
Yeah,
she's too good. I went in.
She's just scary good. Like, she's one of those people where you can tell she's very much so like, I'm not comparing her to BJ Penn, but very much like she's got it. Like, she's young and similar to BJ Penn when he was younger. It's like he just got it. He's got that natural gift, that natural ability to just fight. He's got that. She has that killer instinct that just you need to be successful. Not that JoJo doesn't, but Rose, like, I love you so much.
Yeah.
But I gotta go with Rose.
Rose Namajunas just has the ability to prey on her opponent and pick them apart.
Because I feel like she can just grab a limb and just have her way with it.
Yeah, I agree. Or, I mean, her stand-up, I'm a striker, so watching a great stand-up game always, influences me and impresses me. And just watching her pick apart her opponent and not overrun her opponent, not run her into the cage and end up in some, unuseful clinch. She just stays at the distance, makes it an interesting fight, always an interesting fight. Flying arm bars, flying triangles, crazy things. She takes chances, she takes risks, and it always ends up working out in her favor.
We'll see next week.
We will see next week. So next week, Rose, JoJo, Tisha, and Carla. Wow. So the winner of Rose and JoJo is going to go against Randa Marcos. Wow.
So I think my prediction is whoever wins that fight will beat Randa Marcos and go on to the finals.
You think JoJo and Rose both have the ability to beat Randa Marcos? I could agree with you there. All right.
And I think whoever beats, it's going to be, I know we're wrapping up. I don't see Jessica Penne or Randa Marcos going on. So I think the winner of Carla versus Tisha is going to face the winner of Rose versus JoJo in the finals.
Absolutely. I could say the finals right now. I think it's going to be Carla and Rose. Based off of what I just told you guys. So, guys, why don't you let us know what you think about who's going to win next week.
What are your predictions?
What are your AfterBuzz predictions? Comment on our YouTube link or find us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Where can they find us, George?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the same username, at @GHermoza. That's at Shift2, GHERMOZA. Tweet me, Instagram me, like my pictures, like my tweets, or favorite my tweets, retweet my tweets, tweet me back, tag me on tweets, watch our shows on video on YouTube. Let me know, comments.
Hit the mute button right now and tune George out.
Got it.
You can find me.
Alexis, don't forget Alexis.
Alexis, you go first, honey.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at atorres890. That's ATORRES 890.
There you go, guys. You can find me at Daria B28 all over your social media. And you can find me on my new Facebook page, Daria the Jersey Devil Berenato. Guys, be safe tonight if you're going out. It's considered the biggest party night of the year. The night,
really?
Yeah, Thanksgiving Eve. Very big party night. I got pulled over last year with my dog on my lap driving. And they thought I was drunk, and I was very sober. Anyway, guys, so be safe tonight. Take an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi. And tomorrow, or the bus. Happy Turkey Day and gobble gobble. See you guys later.
Gobble. Buzz you later.
Buzz you later.
Too soon.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.